had an epiphany because I'm listening to this new podcast. Like Cody and I call him Asperger Detective. The title of the show is called like Cold Case something. It's the most innocuous title. It's like Cold Case Murder Files or something. It's like the most generic thing. And it's just this guy. His name is Kyle something. And he's like, hey, everybody, it's me, Kyle something. And I'm going to tell you about the John Benet Ramsey case. And this is a very curious case because a lot of people have a lot of opinions about it. But what they don't understand is that it's all about evolution swarming and the redirection of light.
What?
And he's so spectrumy that it goes continually almost to the point of sexy and before plummeting into he's a personality and we're addicted to him and we like him and but like I had kind of an epiphany while Cody was reading his iTunes reviews. Because I was like, people are going to be mean to this guy because he sounds like he's sucking on a Jolly Rancher all the time. Like the microphone is like real close to his mouth. And so there's just sort of like this,
Asperger Detective.
And people were like hitting his like just everything about his inflection because for a while he has this pattern where every sentence has to end like this, and there's all everything he's explaining everything, and I'm explaining everything, and so everyone's just like, "What are you, a Valley girl? Why does the sentence have to go?" Like people are really, and I was like listening to these things, and I was cringing on his behalf, and then atoning with that cosmic force because I was like, boy, I sure hope that this doesn't affect him. And I think that because what good would that do? Yeah. I mean, outside of like if he was like, oh, I should take the Jolly Rancher out, I think you can hear him start to like try to force himself to like. I think he is like Cody and I were analyzing it, going, I think he is seeing some of this stuff, and it is maybe hurting him or not, but in any case, he's like adjusting. And but the most important thing, like oh God, what like I don't know. It's just like fresh eyes on this concept of like people have like talking about him because he's a product. He's put himself out there. He has 13 listeners. He has 13 Patreons. So he's like, you know, he's not worth taking down, but people are drifting through and they're like, they got a lot to say. Some people have a lot to say about how deep and thoughtful he is. Some people really go for the jugular about his very on the cuff flaws. And it was just sort of an educational process for me to go, oh, well, okay, I hear all that. I can laugh at all that. I can observe the same things they're observing, but God, what a tragedy it would be if he let any of this like fuck up his day. I don't know. I guess I don't think I'm able to articulate my point.
No, you nailed it.
It's just sort of like then putting myself back in the position where it's like, oh, wait a minute, you're a fucking dude, like putting this thing out. It's a product, like it's like you're a Build-A-Bear, you're a character, you're a thing. Like people want to be able to talk about you, and none of them would want you to ever be like, oh, well, that's gonna make me change everything about my life, or I'm gonna kill myself now, or I'm gonna stop doing this or start doing that, because they would be like, whoa, what part of me listening didn't you understand? I'm just like, the internet is where you can just type about this stuff. I'm just a couple of ear holes, like sucking your shit in, and I got nothing to say, so I may as well say about this. Like, I didn't want you to fucking have an opinion about the human species because of this stuff. But I can't figure out, at what point you're supposed to...
It's a weird motivation.
I just don't know, like, because I was like, I don't think anybody wants you in the subreddit, really, like, because as much as they'd be excited that you were there, in the long term, they'd be like, what am I supposed to, like, police myself and talking about, oh, I hate it when he talks about this or when he does that.
A little bit.
Maybe they should, but a
little bit, because we really are doing the best that we can. And
I wouldn't go that far.
and we make a product, and sometimes we dip in there to see how the product's getting received because we want to make sure that you like the shit we make.
But if people wanted to have to worry about that, they'd go to their own Thanksgiving dinners. Like, oh, Uncle Bob heard you talking about the Packers, and now he's throwing a shit fit in the kitchen. And it's like, that's the thing that people are getting away from when they consume other people, strangers. They just go, and they actually, if anything, they like to, I think you pour more into it in terms of like love and hate and like judgment and opinions and stuff. It's like actually a reflection of how hard you're trying to get away from the mess that is your own life. And you're just like, oh, I hate Becky on the home shopping channel when she honks that horn. Like you're engaging in consumption.
If you keep it at that level. When you start to make it personal, though, it's certainly something that you need to question your motivation. Because, like, when I open my mouth to speak, I'm trying to make people laugh or do something decent versus, like, somebody who thinks that they're crafting some incredible shit talk. That's a whole different beast, at which point you're sort of calling yourself out. So there's a point that you made that I agree with, which is, like, you're trying to run away from your own shitty life by talking shit. And I definitely think people should be allowed to talk shit. But when it gets personal, you got to ask yourself, am I negating that this person has experiences that they've been through that my comments might actually trigger? Like, I don't want to shit on, I'm not necessarily a David Hasselhoff fan, but I'm not going to be like, David Hasselhoff's album, I'm not going to make an account and a fake name just so I can get on a Yahoo chat board and go, David Hasselhoff sucks, and here's the 15 reasons why. Like, at that point, David Hasselhoff maybe needs to call you up and say, you outside? Because I'm outside. At that point, because there is this part where I'm like, if you're so creative with your words, why the fuck would you choose to put me down?
That's like, I travel a lot, and I go on Yelp all the time just to find a place to eat, like find some vegetarian food or find a bar or find a place like that's got this or that, whatever I'm craving, Italian food or whatever. And I go on Yelp places that I know that I like. Like, I always go to this place in Seattle, and I always go to these two places in Portland, and awesomely they have bad reviews because that means the assholes ain't going there. Like you read the bad reviews, and it was some douchebag that had a bad date, and like he won't be there. But like I know that I can have fun in that place because like I don't want to see like 7,000 5-star reviews on a place because that means everybody's there. Sometimes the negativity helps you filter out the detritus. Yeah.
I do think anonymity is like key to our species problem as we move from real to digital. Like that is just absolutely the key, is this concept of anonymity, because I have had my career affected by anonymous people. That is something that we're supposed to reserve for black and white photographs in certain sections of history books. Because that is a brick through a window. The reason why Facebook kind of heralded the mass migration of our parents to the internet was because what they perceived there was something different from MySpace, which was, oh, so I know who I am and I know who my uncle is, and if I'm playing Farmville, I can. There's this idea that we could actually just move what we're accustomed to over onto a digital platform, and then it's as if we're in the worst of both worlds, because we're just in this process of spending all of our time online, but we're online is currently a place that the ratio of anonymity to importance is really something that unlike any culture we've ever experienced.
Yeah.
I just think of like Carnival when we were in Venice and we were learning about the history of this concept of Carnival, where it was like, oh, they did this one thing and they thought it was a one-time thing, and then like the nobles were like, we should do this for a month. Oh, like wear masks and rape people? Yeah. And like all of this culture like started to like overtake the city, where it was like everyone was like, yeah, this is great. We should just all do this all the time. I'm a bird. I'm not John. I'm a bird. And like I do what birds do. And it was just sort of like I remember learning about it and being like, this is what we're experiencing right now, where it's like there's anonymity in some respects, like it can be like a super powerful, liberating thing. But overall, the idea that I think it brings out really, really terrible things. Like
it does, because
the only
there's a
thing
lack of
keeping
accountability.
The only thing keeping you a good monkey is the fear of all the monkeys beating you up. They did experiments with bots where they tried to create politeness bots. Where that would detect inflammatory language on Twitter, come into a conversation and say, "Hey, this is much easier to program a bot this way than it is to like a bot that is also easy, which is just like detects Trump's name and just comes in and goes like nothing burger, AIDS." But they tried using bots that would like detect like spikes of like energy, inflammatory conversations, and come in and just be that person in a conflict that says to an aggressor, hey, this other person's a person, even though ironically the bot is not a person. Maybe you should think of them as a person, that kind of stuff. Just like kind of like a lifeguard or something like that, or maybe like one of those like speed trap mannequins in a cop car where it's like they don't have enough cops and they actually do just want people to slow down. They don't want to give tickets, so they just put a mannequin in a cop car. And what they found, I think, is very interesting, which is that it is absolutely the bots work. That you'll get people to backpedal, cool down, all these things if the bot, in addition to doing that, has a ton of followers. Is an absolute direct proportion between like if the bot has 2 followers and comes in and says like, "Hey, everybody, take it easy." They're just tinder on the fire. It's just like, "Fuck, another faggot!" Hurrah! And if they have 100 followers, if they have 1,000 followers, if they have 10,000 followers, it just gets proportionately like it's more likely that this person who doesn't know this person because they're a bot, but they have 10,000 illusory followers, that person is more likely to check themselves before they wreck themselves. And the definition of wrecking yourself is quite simply like everybody has one primal fucking chimpanzee fear, which is you're not going to live on your own. If everybody gangs up on you and decides you're a douchebag, you're going to be in the forest wandering around trying to figure out as a monkey as an ape with no tail, like how to avoid spotted leopards when you don't even have your friends yelling at you. You're dead. That's how chimpanzees kill each other. They just send Bob Dole off into the woods. They don't bother to rip their nuts off unless they're young and like trying to start some shit. The old problematic ones, they just go, "See ya." And they go, "For real, me now?" Aw. They go like, because to be a chimpanzee and to live alone is to die. And that is why solitary confinement is, torture and et cetera. So that's the thing. Anonymity, I think that's fucked up. If you have pure anonymity on the internet, you're taking an end run around that shit. And I think it's also actually kind of uplifting because you get in arguments with anonymous people and they can't help but have an attachment to their ego anyway. Their name is AIDS Spud. I'm here to piss off women 69, eat your pussy, fucking fuck you. They couldn't have made a clearer decision that what they're going to do is they're going to go and troll on the internet. It's in the way that you use it. I'm cutting my fucking hair weird and I'm going to get on there with my bird mask and I'm going to fuck up women. And you could have a conversation with one of these characters and like a lot of times like they'll be like, "Yeah, but what about this?" And it's like, wait, what? This fucking kid like decided to be absolutely anonymous. They're wearing a scream mask and running around with a butcher knife, and still a lot of them will defend themselves. Which they're like, "Well, I'm not an asshole." Like, why would you care about that when you did all of this, put all this energy? And the answer is because of that fear that unites us, which is, fuck, I don't want to empirically be found out to be a liability to the species, because it's like fun is fun and games are games and fantasies of lack of accountability are great. But everybody except sociopaths, like they can be counted on to have that kind of fear. And I guess I'm old, but I'm kind of like, can we start implementing this now? Or at least can you please, like, if you're talking to someone who you know, like their birth certificate is their username. Like that's what being famous means. My name isn't Mr. fucking Pickles, dude. I'm not doing a character. I'm like a guy. Like I was born in 1973 and the name on the fucking thing and the barcode and the baby footprint, it's my username on Instagram. My girlfriend too. Like so you're punching down if you have an account that's like stick a pine tree up your pussy 1024733 Trump forever, and you're just like your girlfriend's a gold digger and you're a piece of shit, and it's like okay, you now that you have that power, what are you gonna fucking do with it? You wretched fucking little shit that I was when I was 11. We were like running across each other's yards back then. It was like, oh, if anybody that said get off my lawn, they were like, oh, you're evil. Or my brother.
Get off my lawn, you're evil, evil.